All right, a little rambling here, a little story for you. So last Thursday, HBO aired the Friends reunion, and I've never really watched Friends. Obviously, I've seen a couple episodes. It's been on for almost my whole life. It's a huge thing in pop culture. I know about Friends. I know how you doing. I know like pivot. I know. These are like cultural things that I'm aware of, but I never really watched the show. But I'm an actor, I like actors, I like, hearing behind the scenes stuff. So I thought, this huge show that was on, throughout my whole childhood, they haven't all been together in almost 20 years. This will be interesting. If nothing else, like even without knowing the show, I know those actors. It'll be interesting to see, all six of them together in a room, like sharing stories about, what happened behind the scenes and stuff. So I watched the reunion and I enjoyed it. And after I watched the reunion, I thought, even though I kind of feel like Friends is overrated, maybe I should try to watch it from season one on and just kind of like watch it in sequence. And so I've started watching Friends in sequence. And today I was talking to my mom on the phone after work. And my mom was a huge Friends fan. You got to remember, my mom was in her 20s when Friends was on the air. So like she's roughly the same age as these characters. And so I remember when I was a kid, my mom watched, there was no streaming TV, there was no, TiVo or anything yet. You had to watch it when it aired. And so my mom was always at home on Thursday nights to watch Friends. She would leave my baseball games early if she had to. Like she would come up to the fence and be like, hey, mom's gotta go. It's the sixth inning, like mom's gotta go. Friends is coming on. So she loved this show. And so I'm talking to my mom on the phone and I told her, hey, I watched the reunion. She said, oh, I watched it too. It was great. And I said, yeah, it was really interesting. And now I'm trying to watch through the show. And she was like, oh, good. And I said, actually, I thought it was funny because I watched the episode where the bit Monica's a kook happens, right? It's like episode 5 or something. And the shtick is Monica, Courtney Cox's character, is very type A. She's very anal. She likes things a certain way. She's a little bit controlling. And Rachel, Jennifer Aniston's character, like moves things around in their apartment that they share. And Monica kind of freaks out and like it gets like, a little, she gets like really like tense and starts putting things back the way she had them before Rachel moved things. And then the rest of the friends, the rest of the gang kind of tease Monica and say like, oh, you're controlling, you don't like things out of order, blah, 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 blah. And I'm telling my mom about this episode and I said, it's kind of like my relationship with my roommate where he just does crazy shit all the time. And I'm kind of like, what are you doing? Don't leave your clothes in the middle of the floor. Don't leave your shoes in the middle of the floor. Don't, whatever it might be. Don't leave the remote on the couch. Put it on the counter. Like, put it on the entertainment center, whatever. Like we have these kinds of conversations in my house a lot. And so I told my mom this story and she was like, yeah, you're Monica. She said, I've always known that. You're a Monica. And I thought that was really, really, she was like, yeah, she's also like, really competitive and a poor loser and all these other things. And I'm like, oh, wow. I already know that's what my mom thinks about me, that I am pretentious and controlling and a sore loser. And she loves me. But, my mom being like, oh, yeah, you're a Monica. And me actually having watched the show well enough to know, I knew kind of what that would mean even before. I've actually heard that before. But having my mom say it after having just watched that episode was like, I was like, oh my God, you're right. Tracy, I am a Monica. I'm definitely a Monica. Because I used to think like, which character would I be? And typically I would think of the boys. I just grew up thinking like, I'm a boy. I guess I got to think about the boy characters. I'm like, I'm just not Joey. I'm not Joey at all. He's just kind of like the dumb pretty one. That's just not my shtick. I'm not Ross. Like maybe I'm a little pretentious. I don't even think I'm that pretentious really, but maybe I'm a little pretentious. But yeah, I'm not so geeky and nerdy and like like stuttering to like tell a girl I like her. That's not my thing. And I'm not Chandler. I guess out of the boys, I'm Chandler the most because I like to be quippy, but I'm not really Chandler either. I feel like I'm none of the guys. It's because I'm Monica. And I know that about myself now, and I know what it means.